There's a specific kind of silence that follows betrayal. It isn't loud like yelling or sobbing. It's the kind that clings to your chest and burns behind your eyes while everyone else keeps laughing like nothing's wrong. That was me, sitting at the dinner table, clapping for my little brother while my dad handed him car keys. Then Dad turned to me with a smile and handed me an envelope. Inside was a bill for rent. $800. Due Sunday. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just started planning my exit. Before we dive in, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below letting us know where you're watching from and what time it is for you right now. We're excited to connect with all of you, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing content. Now back to the story. It was a Wednesday. I remember because I had just finished my second shift at the cafe, and my feet were pulsing like someone had poured lava into my shoes. I was still in my apron when I walked through the front door and smelled garlic bread and buttered steak. Weird, I thought. We don't usually do family dinners unless it's someone's birthday or someone died. Claire, my mom called out. Hurry up, we're about to start. My stomach twisted. I hadn't heard anything about a dinner. No text, no group chat. But I shoved my work bag into the closet, washed my hands, and joined them anyway. There were balloons in the dining room. Congrats, Kyle, they read. And in the center of the table sat a cake decorated with blue frosting and tiny graduation caps. My brother, Kyle, was already sitting at the head of the table, grinning like he'd solved world hunger. He hadn't, obviously. He'd barely scraped through high school with enough credits to walk across the stage. I sat across from him, still in my cafe polo shirt, still smelling like espresso and stress. Dad stood up, holding his glass of red wine high. To Kyle, he beamed. You did it, son. You made us proud. We all clinked glasses. Well, they did. I sipped tap water. I forced a smile. And now, Dad continued, pulling something from his pocket, we want to show you just how proud we are. This. He dangled a set of keys from his fingers. Is yours. The room erupted. Mom squealed. Kyle jumped to his feet. No way. You got me a car. Parked outside, Dad said, puffing his chest like a peacock. Red Honda Civic. 2 years old. Nothing too flashy but reliable. Perfect for a college man. I watched the scene unfold like I was behind a sheet of glass. My brother was laughing, hugging Mom, doing that fake crying thing he always does when he wants attention. Meanwhile, I sat still. Then Dad turned to me. Claire, he said, his voice softening. I've got something for you too. For a split second, just one, I let myself hope. Maybe it was a gas card. Maybe a dinner voucher. Hell, maybe just a hug. Instead, he handed me a white envelope. Opened it. Inside was a typed invoice. Room and board. $800 due by Sunday. It was signed in my dad's handwriting. Blinked. What is this? Dad cleared his throat. You're 19. You've got a job. It's time you start contributing. I've always contributed, I said slowly. Groceries. Cleaning. I cook dinner 3 nights a week. And I pay for my own phone, my own clothes. Rent, Claire, he interrupted. We're talking rent. My voice came out colder than I intended. Why now? Because, he said like it was obvious. Your brother just graduated. He's earned some support. You've been out of school for a year. You need to be more responsible. I stared at him, the words echoing like slaps. He's earned it. So I have to pay for existing, I said. But he gets rewarded for doing the bare minimum? Mom jumped in then, her voice all fake sugar. Claire, it's not like that. Kyle's just starting his journey. You're older, you should be more independent. I've been independent since I was 15, I snapped. When Kyle was out partying, I was doing double shifts and helping you figure out how to budget the bills. You're under our roof, Dad said firmly. And that means rent. I nodded, but I wasn't agreeing. I was confirming what I already suspected. I wasn't a daughter in this house. I was a tenant. Maid. A burden with a job. I didn't argue further. I didn't even eat the damn steak. That night, I lay awake in my tiny, cluttered bedroom. The ceiling fan above me clicked with every rotation, a sound I used to find comforting but now felt like a countdown clock. I thought about everything. Like how I started working at 16 not because I wanted to, but because Mom forgot to give me lunch money for weeks. How I never had a sweet 16, or a prom dress that wasn't from a thrift store. How my parents always had money for Kyle's soccer gear and video games, but somehow forgot my college application fees. I remembered scrubbing the bathroom floor while Kyle hosted his friends in the living room, blasting music while I tried to study in the hallway. And now he was the golden boy. The one who earned a brand new car. I didn't cry. Not that night. I did something better. I began packing. By Thursday evening, I had 3 duffel bags hidden under my bed and a list of things I'd need to take from the kitchen when no one was looking. My laptop, my clothes, my passport, the $416 I had in savings, and the tip money I'd been stashing behind the bookshelf. I texted my friend Zara, asked if her couch was still free. Her reply came instantly. Girl always. You need me to pick you up. Not yet, I typed back. Soon. That night, Kyle borrowed Dad's car to test it out, and ended up hitting a mailbox. They still went easy on him. First car scratches, Dad said with a chuckle. It happens. No one noticed I skipped dinner. Friday was quiet. I finished my shift, picked up some cheap toiletries, and printed a single sheet of paper at the library. Saturday I made my final rounds. Took my charger from the living room, my hoodie from the hallway hook. Left a small stack of clean dishes in the rack like always. I didn't want them to suspect anything. Then Sunday came. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. The house was silent. Kyle's door was open. He was snoring, limbs tangled in sheets. My parents' door was closed. The car keys still hung on the kitchen wall. I left my letter on the fridge, taped eye level where no one could miss it. Dear family, you made it clear I'm just another bill to you. So I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. No more Claire, no more rent arguments, no more ungrateful daughter in your way. I'm leaving because I finally understand that being related doesn't mean being respected. Kyle, good luck finding your clean socks. Mom, I hope one day you remember I was your daughter, not your backup plan. Dad, this time you can call every number you want. But I'm not picking up. I'm not gone to make you worry. I'm gone to make myself matter. Blair. I took one last look at the kitchen. The mismatched chairs. The old fridge. The counters I had wiped down 1,000 times. Then I left. No tears. No noise. Just freedom. I climbed into Zara's car, duffel bags at my feet. She didn't say anything, just reached over, squeezed my hand and turned up the radio. As we pulled away, I saw the house disappear in the rearview mirror. And I didn't look back. The first thing I noticed in Zara's apartment was the smell. Vanilla and lemon, soft and clean. Clung to the air like a hug. Her place wasn't big. 1 bedroom, tiny living room, kitchenette that could barely hold 2 people. But it was hers. No passive-aggressive sticky notes on the fridge. No sudden lectures disguised as conversations. Just peace. Couch is all yours, she said, plopping down my 3rd duffel bag. Wi-Fi passwords stuck on the router. Bathrooms through there. And help yourself to anything in the fridge except my iced coffee. Touch that and I will end you. I cracked a small smile. Noted. No iced coffee theft. Got it. We sat in silence for a bit, both of us staring at the wall like it had secrets to tell. Then she looked over. You okay? I opened my mouth but nothing came out. Not yes, not no. Just silence. Okay, she nodded gently. You don't have to talk yet. Just breathe. And I did. For the first time in years, I breathed without walking on eggshells. I stayed on Zara's couch that first night curled into a ball, staring at the ceiling fan that made a soft humming noise, not the threatening clack of my dad's busted one. Her cat, Pickles, kept trying to lie on my chest like some kind of weird therapy beast, purring like an old engine. Let him. At 3:07 a.m. the calls started. First Mom. Then Dad. And Kyle. I watched them light up the screen like fireworks. Then came the text. Where are you? This isn't funny. Claire, come home right now. You think you can just leave and not say anything? You have responsibilities. Is this about the rent? You're being dramatic. I didn't reply. I just silenced my phone and turned it face down. By noon I had 30 missed calls and 2 voicemails, both from Mom. Her voice cracked like a broken window in one and rose into that familiar shrill panic in the other. She was scared. Not for me, no, not really. For how it would look. What would she tell the neighbors? What would she tell the aunties in her WhatsApp group? Her daughter ran away. Her daughter was out of control. Zara made pancakes that morning and didn't ask a single question. She just placed a plate in front of me with extra syrup and said, I added chocolate chips. You need endorphins. Science says so. I think I fell in love with her a little that day. Platonically, sure, but fully. Because she didn't try to solve me. She just saw me. I spent Monday lying low. No work. No errands. Just me and my thoughts. And those thoughts weren't kind. I kept replaying it all. My dad's smug smile as he handed Kyle the keys, the envelope, the way Mom defended it like they were doing me a favor. Like I was lucky they hadn't charged me interest. And worse than the memory was the aftershock. I could practically hear the conversations they were probably having back at home. She'll be back. She's just being dramatic. She always makes things about her. I knew she'd pull something like this. Always so emotional. They didn't get it. They never would. Tuesday morning I texted my manager and explained I was staying with a friend for a while and might need some shift changes. He was surprisingly cool about it, told me to take a few days and to let him know if I needed anything. By Tuesday night, the tone of the messages had shifted. You're not answering because you know you're wrong. You're not a child anymore, Claire. Adults don't run away. Be responsible for once. That last one hit hard. I had always been the responsible one. I was the one who held things together when Mom had her meltdowns over the bills. I was the one who set reminders for Kyle's dentist appointments. I was the one who picked up groceries with my tip money because Dad forgot his card again. And now I was irresponsible because I stopped letting them use me. Wednesday things escalated. Dad texted, if you don't come back by Friday, we'll report you as missing. I'm not kidding. That one made me laugh. Actually laugh. Loud. He wasn't worried I was missing. He was worried someone might notice I was gone. Called Zara at work. Hey, I said. You know that TikTok thing you said I should try? He squealed. Girl. Are we about to tell your story? That night, we set up a ring light and sat cross-legged on her floor. I didn't try to look polished. No makeup. Messy bun. Just me. I hit record. Hi, I'm Claire. I'm 19. My brother just got a brand new car for graduating high school. I got a bill for rent. From my parents. $800. Due by Sunday. So I left. And I'm not going back. I told them everything. The imbalance. The years of being the responsible daughter. The golden boy who could do no wrong. The letter I left on the fridge. The silence after the storm. We posted it. No hashtags. No fancy edits. Just the truth. By morning it had 1,000 views. By lunch 20,000. By dinner it was on the For You page. The comments were wild. Girl, I've been there. Stay strong. You're not a tenant. You're their kid. This is toxic AF. I would have burned the house down before leaving a note. My parents did this too. You're not alone. One girl messaged me privately. She said she lived 3 blocks away and had been through something almost identical. We made plans to meet up for coffee. By Thursday I had strangers offering couch space, job leads, even a part-time roommate gig. I didn't need most of it. But knowing people saw me. That I wasn't crazy. That meant everything. I didn't hear from my family again until Saturday. Dad finally left a voicemail. Claire, listen. I might have overreacted. Okay. Maybe the rent thing came out wrong. I wanted to teach you responsibility. That's all. You're not a kid anymore. Then his voice dropped, quiet and clipped. People are asking questions. Where you are. Why you're not home? Your aunt said she saw something online. You need to take that video down. There it was. He didn't say, I miss you. He didn't say, I'm sorry. He said, you're embarrassing us. Zara and I watched the voicemail twice. Then she looked at me. You gonna respond? I shook my head. Not a chance. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was tired. Tired of pretending like there was a version of this story where I got to be the hero without becoming the villain in their eyes. So I leaned in. Posted a second video. Not petty. Not revenge. Just truth. Hi again. Since y'all asked. No, my parents haven't apologized. My brother hasn't checked in. And yes, I'm okay. I'm working. I'm learning how to budget on my own. I'm learning what it feels like to breathe. I'm learning that family isn't supposed to feel like obligation with a side of emotional rent. That one hit harder than the first. Passed 100,000 views in 2 days. And suddenly people cared. Podcast host reached out. A girl from BuzzFeed asked if she could feature my story in a piece about generational trauma. I even got a DM from a social worker who said she was using the video to help teens in group homes talk about boundaries. I didn't want fame. I wanted freedom. But if my truth could help someone else find theirs, then fine. Let the world watch. Back at my parents' house, chaos had erupted. Kyle texted me. Probably for the first time in 2 years without asking for money or help with something. WTF did you do? Dad's losing it. Mom's crying. I didn't reply. He followed up. They're saying you ruined our family. That everyone thinks we're abusers now. Still no reply. Can you at least take the videos down? Come home and talk like adults. Type 3 words. I'm already home. Then I blocked him. That night, as I lay curled up on Zara's couch with Pickles snoring on my feet, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not peace. Not joy. Something deeper. Power. Not over them. Over myself. Over the narrative. For the first time in my life, I wasn't surviving. I was writing my own story. Zara and I were walking back from the little bookstore cafe when I saw it. A white sedan parked half a block from her building. Windows tinted, engine off. It wasn't the car that caught my attention. It was the feeling. That skin-prickling, breath-stuttering instinct I hadn't felt in days. Like someone watching me through a glass too thick to see through. I didn't say anything at first. Just tightened my grip on the tote bag and picked up my pace. Zara noticed. You okay? He nodded. Right. By the time we got upstairs, my phone was blowing up again. 3 blocked numbers. 1 voicemail. Played it on speaker. Claire. It's Dad. I know you think you're proving something right now, but what you're doing is reckless. Your mother hasn't slept in days. Kyle's friends are teasing him at work. You think you've won. This isn't winning. This is destroying your family. He paused. His voice twisting in that familiar cruel soft way he used when trying to manipulate without raising his voice. You've always been the smart one, Claire. The one we could depend on. Don't throw that away for internet points. I didn't even blink. Zara walked into the kitchen and slammed a cabinet a little louder than necessary. She was angrier than I was. That gaslighting sack of. She didn't finish. She didn't need to. Press delete. Then open TikTok. I wasn't posting rage. I wasn't making threats. I was telling my story. Again. But this time I did something different. I showed the bill. The actual printed statement my parents left on my nightstand. $800. Due Sunday. Scribbled in red pen like it was some kind of notice from a landlord. Then I showed a picture of Kyle next to his new car. Big smile. Ribbons still dangling from the side mirror. I didn't say much. Just captioned it. Guess which one of us got a reward for graduating, and which one got a bill for existing. By morning it had 300,000 views. By lunch it was on Instagram Reels, Twitter, Facebook, even some reaction videos on YouTube. That's when things got real. Someone messaged me saying they recognized my dad from a local business group. Said he owned a small HVAC company and was big on family values and community reputation. His Facebook page was public. So were his company reviews. I didn't tell anyone to do anything. I didn't say, go leave him a 1-star. But people did. And the next voicemail he left. You want to embarrass me. Fine. But don't drag the business into this. You think you're making some grand statement, but you're just a spoiled little girl who didn't want to contribute. That word. Spoil. I laughed so hard I choked on my tea. Spoil. The girl who worked 2 jobs since 16. The girl who cancelled her own prom dress because Kyle needed money for football cleats. The girl who paid her own phone bill since she got her first one. Posted a video just saying that. Just listing all the times I chose them over myself. And ended it with, if this is what being spoiled looks like, then someone please tell me where the luxury is. The video exploded. By the weekend, Zara's apartment felt like command central. I was getting interview requests, blog write-ups, DMs from teens, adults, even therapists saying how validating it was to see someone finally say the things they were too afraid to say out loud. But then came the backlash. People calling me entitled, ungrateful. It's just rent, they said. Grow up. Some told me to stop airing dirty laundry online. Others asked why I didn't just talk to them like an adult. As if I hadn't spent years talking and being ignored. As if silence wasn't something my parents wore like armor. And then one afternoon, as I was answering emails, the buzzer rang. Zara answered and called out to me. It's someone saying they're your uncle? Froze. It was Uncle Darren, Mom's younger brother. The one who always looked uncomfortable at family dinners, like he knew something he wasn't allowed to say. He didn't come inside. Just asked to talk in the hallway. You really stirred the pot, he said, not unkindly. Didn't mean to, I replied. But I'm not sorry. He sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. They asked me to talk to you. Your mom's a wreck. Your dad's pissed, but honestly, think he's scared. This went further than they expected. I crossed my arms. They wanted me to disappear quietly. They never thought anyone would care. He didn't deny it. Then he reached into his jacket and handed me a manila envelope. What's this? From your grandma, he said. Dad's mom. She saw the video. Called me crying. Said she had no idea it was this bad. Inside was a letter. And a check. For $2,000. Blinked. She wants you to know, he added, that not everyone in the family agrees with how they treated you. I swallowed hard. That hit deeper than I expected. She always treated Kyle like the golden child too, I murmured. Yeah, Uncle Darren nodded. But even golden boys don't shine forever. Keep doing what you're doing, Claire. You're not wrong. You just made them look in a mirror, and they don't like what they see. He left before I could say thank you. Later that night I sat with Zara on the floor, the check still sitting on the table. I hadn't decided what to do with it yet. Felt weird. Like proof and apology all in one. Zara broke the silence. You ever think about going back? Home? Yes. No, she smirked. Like back. Show up at their house not to beg, but to show them you're not scared of them anymore. That idea lodged in my chest like a splinter. I dreamed about it. In secret. Walking in wearing confidence like armor. Watching their faces as they realized I was no longer theirs to control. I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning I got dressed deliberately. Not flashy, but strong. Black jeans, fitted jacket, boots that clicked when I walked. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I just went. Their front door looked smaller than I remembered. I rang the bell and waited. Mom opened it. The shock on her face was almost satisfying. Claire, she whispered like my name was sacred now. Hi, Mom. She looked thinner, paler. Or maybe I was just seeing her without the gilt-glazed lenses I always wore. Can I come in? She hesitated, then stepped aside. The house smelled the same. Clean linen and cinnamon. But the air was tight. Like it knew I didn't belong here anymore. Dad was in the kitchen. He turned, saw me, and his jaw clenched. Oh, you finally decided to show up, he said. I didn't come back, I corrected. I came to see. Kyle slouched on the couch, face red, a cut healing near his lip. He looked at me with a mix of rage and fear. "Hope you're happy," he muttered. "You ruined everything." "No," I said calmly. "You did that all by yourselves. I just showed people what it looked like." Dad slammed his hand on the counter. "This is our family. You don't just turn us into a soap opera for strangers. And you don't charge your daughter rent while handing out free cars like candy," I shot back. "You want control. Earn respect first." Mom started crying again, the way she always did when things weren't going her way. "I don't know who you are anymore." "I do," I said. "For the first time in my life, I actually do." I didn't stay. I didn't give them the satisfaction of some big scene. I walked out quietly with my head high, like a storm that didn't need thunder to announce its presence. Back at Zara's, I posted one final video. It was just me. No makeup. No edits. I went back today. Just to see. And I realized something. They weren't home. Not the kind of home I needed. Not the kind that feels safe or warm or proud of you when you don't play by their rules. And that's okay. Because sometimes you don't go home to find peace. You go to remind yourself why you left. And that leaving was the bravest thing you've ever done. I turned off the camera, exhaled, and let the silence wrap around me like victory. I didn't expect the peace to feel so lonely. After all the noise, comments, DMs, interview requests, there came a stillness that settled over everything like fog. Zara was at work. My phone wasn't buzzing. The world had moved on to the next scandal, the next viral moment. My story had done its rounds, and now the attention was tapering off. But I wasn't chasing attention. I didn't want fame. I wanted freedom. I wanted validation. And for the first time in my life I got it. Just not from the people I'd spent years trying to please. The thing no one warns you about healing is how quiet it gets. How the silence forces you to meet yourself. No distractions, no noise, no one telling you who you should be. That night, I sat at Zara's window and looked out over the city, watching cars pass like blinking fireflies on concrete rivers. I thought about my brother. About the way he looked at me like I'd stolen something from him. As if the truth somehow came at his expense. And I thought about my parents. How easily they played the victim the second I stepped out of the role they wrote for me. That used to keep me up at night. Not anymore. I opened my laptop, pulled up an old document I hadn't touched in over a year. An application essay to an art program I never submitted. Because my dad called it impractical. And Kyle told me I should aim for a real job. But the words were still there. My dreams were still intact, just buried under layers of doubt. So I started typing. I told my story, this time not for TikTok, not for views, but for me. About growing up in a house where love was conditional and respect was currency you could never fully earn. About learning the hard way that loyalty to your family shouldn't cost you your dignity. I wrote late into the night. When I was done, I sent it to the one program I had dreamed of attending since I was 15. Then I closed the laptop and slept. Really slept. A week later I got the call. "Claire, this is Marisol from the New York School of Design. I'm calling because, well, your story moved us. Your art portfolio, your voice, it's raw, it's fearless. We'd love to offer you a spot in our fall cohort." I didn't speak. Couldn't. My throat closed with something bigger than joy, relief. Like the version of me I buried years ago had finally broken the surface. "You there?" she asked. I smiled through the tears. "Yeah, I'm here." Zara screamed when I told her. Then she made margaritas and danced around the kitchen until the blender lid flew off. "You did it, Claire," she said, laughing. "And you did it your way." But not everyone was celebrating. The next morning I got an email. From Kyle. Subject: "Hope you're happy now. Guess you got everything you wanted. You ruined my life. No one at work takes me seriously anymore. People call me rent boy behind my back. Dad's not talking to me unless it's about fixing your mess. Mom barely leaves her room. I hope your 15 minutes were worth it." No apology. No responsibility. Just bitterness. I stared at the screen, debating whether to respond. I didn't. Some silences are louder than anything you could say. But the email lit something in me. A flicker of old fire I thought I'd snuffed out. Because while I'd moved on, they were still spinning in the same lies they built for themselves. I decided to write one last thing. Not a video. Not a viral post. Letter. Not to Kyle. Not to my parents. To the girl I used to be. Dear Claire. I'm sorry it took me so long to see you. You tried so hard. You were so patient. So generous. You believed that if you just kept sacrificing, they'd see your worth. But they were never looking. You were never the problem. Their love had conditions, and you spent years trying to meet them all, even when it cost you pieces of yourself. But you don't owe anyone pain in exchange for love. You don't have to earn space. You are space. You don't need to dim so others can shine. You don't need to break yourself to fit inside their comfort zones. You are allowed to choose peace over blood. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to speak. Loudly. Clearly. Without shame. I'm so proud of you. Love. Claire. I printed it and taped it above my desk. Not because I needed the reminder, but because I wanted to remember how far I'd come. Packing for New York felt symbolic. Like shedding an old skin. I left behind the things they gave me. That old quilt from my mom, the hand-me-down lamp from Dad's office. I kept what I bought myself. What I earned. Zara drove me to the airport. She hugged me like a sister and whispered, "Go change the world, one truth bomb at a time." I laughed, but I felt it deep. The plane lifted, and I watched the city shrink below me. I didn't cry. I didn't look back. 2 weeks into the program, I walked into my first critique. My piece. A mixed media collage titled, Inheritance. Shards of a broken mirror in the center. Torn bills and ribbons stitched into the background. A small silhouette of a girl, standing tall among the ruins. My professor stared at it a long time. "This is powerful," she said softly. "Is this your story?" "Yes," I said. She smiled. "Good. Because stories like this, they make art matter." After class I checked my phone. Voicemail. From my mother. Her voice was small. Almost unfamiliar. "Claire, I saw the article about you. In that online journal. You're doing something good. I didn't understand before. I thought you were trying to shame us. But now, I don't know. Maybe you were just trying to survive. Sorry. I hope you're happy." "I really do." I listened once. Then again. And again. It wasn't everything. It wasn't enough. But it was something. And maybe that's how healing starts. Not in fireworks or sweeping apologies, but in quiet cracks where light finally slips in. I didn't call her back. Not yet. Maybe one day. For now I had a life to build. A name to reclaim. Future to meet. On my own terms. In my own voice. And for the first time ever, I wasn't just telling a story. I was writing the ending.